You can't find him. You're telling me you can't find Daniel. Did you check his reading meditation chamber? He's not there. Okay, I know, it must flow. I understand. I get it. I know what I must do. The fantasy news must flow! Fantasy news. Is that what you want? Does this make you happy? Okay, Daniel, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not a goblin. This isn't even plugged in. Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy News. I am clearly not your disheveled goblin host, Daniel Green, and I didn't kidnap him. I only thought of it, I promise. Daniel is busy fighting the Great Goblin War. He will return, bathed in the blood of his enemies, but for now, I'm gonna be doing Fantasy News this week. I'm Jay from the channel Captured in Words, and today we have a very juicy chunk of Fantasy News to get into. Okay, it's not juicy. It's undulating. Stranger Things Season 4 broke the record for Netflix's biggest premiere weekend ever with 287 million hours viewed. I remember a lot of people saying it kind of dropped off after Season 3, but that doesn't seem to be stopping the hype for Season 4. As we all know, Netflix has been having a pretty terrible year. They've been losing subscribers, they're working on charging users who let people outside their household use their account. It seems like Netflix is making bad decisions, kinda left and right, but at least they got Stranger Things going for them. I never did watch Season 3, I know. I'm currently rewatching from Season 1 because I've heard a lot of great things about Season 4, and I'm excited. Brothers Matt and Ross Duffer said that Season 4 is the most challenging, but the most rewarding season yet. Currently, we got 7 episodes, the longest of which is 98 minutes long, and we still have 2 more episodes coming later in July. The forthcoming season finale is going to have some episodes that are 2.5 hours long. Just when you thought Disney was done making live-action nostalgia grabs, it turns out the remakes are never going to end. Pinocchio is coming to life on September 18th on Disney+. This new remake is starring Tom Hanks as the woodcutter, Geppetto, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as Pinocchio. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is going to voice Jiminy Cricket, and Cynthia Erivo is going to play the Blue Fairy. Honestly, I don't really know how to feel about this one. It does look better than other remakes. Disney always relies on realism for their remakes, and this one feels like it has more style to it. It feels like it's being faithful to the original, and I like that more, so I feel like this does have more potential. The original movie introduced what is now Disney's theme song, the Wish Upon a Star song, and we do get to hear a little bit of that in the trailer. I'm interested to see how they fully recreate that though. Now, since Pinocchio is also, a fairy tale in the public domain, there's also a Guillermo del Toro directed stop-motion animated version that's set to hit Netflix this December. Personally, I find this one much more interesting. Did anyone else watch the 1996 Adventures of Pinocchio?
No, God, please, no!
That terrified me as a kid. Let's be honest, it still kind of creeps me out. Personally, I'm most excited for the Pinocchio Souls-like game. Those are two things I never thought I'd see mixed together.
And this video is brought to you by Wraithmarked Creative, and more specifically their charity sale of their flagship book, The Iron Prince. Today and today only, 100% of the Kindle sales for The Iron Prince will be going to the survivors of the mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Wraithmarked Creative has partnered with Victims First to make sure your money is not only going to a great cause, but you are getting a book at a remarkably cheap price in exchange. I have a full review of Iron Prince here on the channel if you'd like to know my thoughts, but if you're interested in lit RPG or have long been a fan of the genre, this is definitely a book for you to pick on up. More importantly though, it's a way for you to give to an incredible cause and receive something in return as a thank you. So if you'd like to check out Iron Prince today, I'll have that linked in the description down below. Back to the video.
Rachel Zegler is set to star in the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Is that what it's called? Songbirds and Snakes. Yeah, I never did read that one. I haven't read The Hunger Games since middle school. I enjoyed the movies though, so I'm excited to see this prequel. It looks like Zegler made a mysterious tweet on Monday that kind of hinted at what character she was gonna play. Fans pointed out that the first letter of each word in her tweet spells out the main character's name, Lucy Gray Baird. So Lucy is an early tribute of District 12 who ends up being mentored by Snow, who we know is the main tyrannical leader. Now the prequel takes place decades before The Hunger Games, so you can't expect Jennifer Lawrence to make an appearance. To be honest, I got no clue if this is good casting. People seem to be happy about it, so I'm sure it's gonna be great. Just as I thought I was done editing, we got big news. We got an official Imax trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water. And you know what? After over a decade of hard work, it's looking very, very good. This is actually one of my most anticipated movies, and I can imagine how beautiful it's going to be to see this in IMAX. Now, the sequel is set 13 years after the original Avatar. It's set to release on December 16th, 2022. Empire Magazine is publishing an exclusive The Lord of the Rings of Power issue with 3 collectible covers. The first cover is the elves featuring Galadriel. Now, even though I'm very cautious about this show coming out, I don't think anyone can really judge it before actually seeing it on the screen. I do gotta say though that Galadriel looks completely badass, and I think this magazine cover is very cool. And then we have a cover featuring the dwarves and one featuring the hobbits. And right away, I gotta say that Hobbit cover, that's probably the least interesting one out of all of them. Do people still even collect magazines? I guess people collect everything. If you want to pre-order yourself an issue, you can pre-order them online and they go on sale on June 9th. We have a trailer drop for a new CW show. How exciting. This trailer dropped on the 31st. It is Gotham Knights, and wow, does it look really, really bad. It looks terrible. Honestly, I thought this was like a fan-made movie at first, but it's not. It follows Batman's son, but oh no, Batman is dead, and they're blaming the son. But wait, there's also the Joker's daughter, and now they team up together. For some reason. Why? What? It doesn't seem like anything that anybody really wanted. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it just kind of feels like fan fiction to me. I would personally like to see a Batman Beyond live action or new animated show. We now have the official title and logo of the next Dragon Age game, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. And hey, that's a pretty cool title, and if you're a Dragon Age fan, you'll know that this title is referencing Solus, which is pretty exciting. Now, BioWare confirmed that Dragon Age Dreadwolf will not be releasing this year, but development is still ongoing, and the team is promising more information later in the year. Stephen King says he's written a new novella called Rattlesnakes, which is a remake of his 1981 classic Cujo, the one about a family held hostage by a rabid Saint Bernard. Stephen King shows no signs of ever slowing down. He says, "I just wrote a long story called Rattlesnakes, and it involves, at one part, twins who are only 4 years old falling into a rattlesnake pit, and the snakes get them. It's a terrible scene. It doesn't really tell us a whole lot, but I'm interested to see how it ends up being a sequel to Cujo." We have a cover reveal for a new book by Kate Elliott, The Keepers 6. The action-packed story of a world-hopping, are we gonna see Hoyd? A badass, spell-slinging mother out to rescue her kidnapped son from a dragon lord, available in January of 2023. That actually sounds extremely interesting. And look at this cover. My god, that is a beautiful cover. A story of portals, dragon kings, surprising literature, and one furious mom. This actually sounds incredible to me. I'm really interested in this now. Author of King's Dragon, Spirit Walker, Court of Fives. Okay, so she's written quite a few books. In indie fantasy news, Zamil Akhtar, the author of Gunmetal Gods, has given us a sneak peek at one of 4 original interior illustrations in his upcoming book, Lightblade. Oh, this just in, Lightblade is actually available now. You can go read it. It just came out. This is an Indo-Persian cyberpunk novel with a progressive magic system. It sounds incredible to me, and that cover is gorgeous as well. I love when we get fantasy that isn't just that generic medieval Europe setting. I guess this is sci-fi actually, but I really like the concept and it sounds super interesting. Plus, call me a child, but I love illustrations in my fantasy books. Now, we had a whole lot of Star Wars news this week. I'm gonna try to cover the main stuff. Over the weekend, Obi-Wan Kenobi became the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. I haven't really enjoyed much of what Disney has done with Star Wars besides some of the animated stuff and The Mandalorian, but I watched the first 2 episodes of Kenobi. I haven't had the chance to watch the 3rd episode yet, and I enjoyed it so far. I got a few little nitpicks here and there, but overall, I am just so excited to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I like seeing this more emotional side to him, seeing a more broken Obi-Wan, and I can't wait to see more of Hayden Christensen as well. Hayden Christensen says he's open to the idea of a Darth Vader standalone series after reprising his role in Obi-Wan and the upcoming Ahsoka show. Let me know your thoughts on a Darth Vader series. I think if Disney can do it right, that would be pretty exciting, but I also don't have a lot of faith in Disney, so I don't know. A new series, Young Jedi Adventures, is in the works. It's going to follow younglings in training during the High Republic era. Yeah, I hope there's not going to be a cameo from Anakin in the season finale. Tales of the Jedi is releasing this fall. It's an anthology of animated shorts following characters from the prequels like Count Dooku. We got some concept art for a young Count Dooku and Mace Windu. It's also going to follow Qui-Gon Jinn, and Liam Neeson is returning to voice Qui-Gon. I'm hoping Liam Neeson is going to appear in the new Obi-Wan show as well. And we are going to get the origin of Ahsoka, so that's exciting. There was an official trailer release for The Bad Batch Season 2. I haven't watched Season 1, so I don't have too many thoughts on this, but it looks interesting, and I feel like some of the best stories in Star Wars comes from the animated stuff. A teaser dropped for Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. I really like the gameplay of Fallen Order. I like the combat system and the progression, and the characters and story felt kind of fresh as well. Hopefully this one will be even better. We have a teaser for a new Netflix show headed by the writers behind Dark. And it looks like the first official trailer for 1899 is going to be dropping on June 6th. Synopsis time. A group of European migrants leave London on a steamship to start new lives in New York City, but when they encounter another migrant ship adrift in the open sea, their journey begins to turn into a nightmare. That Morse code teaser though, oh, that is so good. It kind of gives me anxiety though. I feel like a face is just gonna pop up at any moment. It begs the question, is the whole show going to be in Morse code? Dark was honestly such a good show. If you haven't watched that, definitely watch it. It takes a little while to grow on you, but if anything's gonna top that, I think it could be this show. Okay, that's it. That's the fantasy news today. Make sure to check out Daniel's recent video on absurdism. Go watch that one. That was a good one. And, you know, if you want to, you can check out my channel as well. I got the opportunity to plug, so I'm obviously going to take it. Fair warning, I don't upload nearly as often as Daniel. I don't know how he does that. Maybe it's the goblin energy. I don't know. The man's a madman. Anyway, what really did happen to Green Daniel?